Welcome to the Military Millionaire Podcast, where we teach service members, veterans, and their families how to build wealth through personal finance, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. I'm your host, David Perret, and together with my co-host, Alex Felice, we're here to be your no BS guides along the most important mission you'll ever embark on, your finances.
Vehicle 1, you're clear to depart friendly lines.
Roger, Vic 1, Oscar Mike. Welcome to the Military Millionaire Podcast. I'm your host, David Perret, and today we have Jake Ingledue, who is a veteran of the only branch of the military more tough than the Marine Corps, the Air Force.
Thanks, man. That was quite the introduction.
Jake's a friend. We met, I don't know, more underground than anywhere I think I've ever met anyone else in Hughes Missile Silo. His not rapey Airbnb, which actually has water now. It didn't when we first met. And it has a toilet, so it's basically a house. It's great.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I'm excited to do this podcast with you. I've been wanting to do this with you, so thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this is the first in-person recording of this show with real microphones.
Oh, I popped the cherry, huh?
Yeah, well, because you brought your own badass setup. I've been thinking about buying a setup like this. So for anyone listening to the show, and yes, I know there's no video because Jake has two Shure SM7B microphones, which is what I use to record the show. But he has the in-person setup, which I love because it's way more fun to do in-person recordings. And so we're sitting in my office hanging out in Springfield, Missouri, and yeah, so Jake, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your background?
Yeah, so obviously I'm a veteran to the most elite branch in the military.
And he had the coolest job ever. He was the guy who stood at the gate and made sure you were safe.
So I did security forces in the Air Force, and it's like the job that people that aren't smart enough in the Air Force get washed out to go to.
He saluted the wives of officers all day.
Yeah. So I'm a veteran. I did one tour over in Afghanistan and whatnot. I own a pest control business. I'm the host of the Growth Circle podcast, the number one podcast in Springfield, Missouri. Ooh. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that because you're the other podcast.
Well, I mean,
there's only two of us.
The only one in Springfield that records.
Oh wait.
In person.
I'm supposed to say I'm the number one self-help podcast in Springfield, Missouri, because I'm probably the only one. But yeah, so I'm the host of the Growth Circle podcast. I've got a pest control business. I got a lawn mowing business, and I am a real estate investor.
Speaking of, I heard that you might be controlling some pests in my hotel soon at a really good discount.
I would not even know because my office people handle all that. So I have no idea. I have no idea who I'm in business with.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really nice, actually.
And I'm going to tell them that you said that we could get an even bigger discount.
So yeah, Jake said
50% off whatever price you gave us, which was already the homie discount.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I'm losing money.
1 cent a roach. I don't know what a normal roach killing. What does a normal roach killing cost?
Oh, dude, it depends.
How'd you get into pest control? Like, why pest control?
Because it's sexy, dude. Everybody wants to be in pest control. No, this is how I got into pest control, man. So originally I was going to school to be a dentist. Yeah.
Obviously they go hand in hand.
Yeah. Perfectly hand in hand. Yeah. No, I was like, dude, I don't want to be a dentist. Like, this sucks. That you can't even talk to the people. Don't even talk back to you when you're in their mouth. But anyways, so like how it happened was like pretty much I was doing door-to-door pest control sales while I was going to school, and my first summer I made like $50,000, and that's a lot of money for a college student. And I was like, holy crap. And I had friends making 6 figures. And if people follow YouTube, Chandler David Smith, he was my boss. He's like a big YouTube star. He's like a multi-millionaire. He's got a ton of real estate. He's got an 18,000 square foot house. Like, he's straight killing it. I worked under his team and learned sales and did door-to-door sales. So I did that for a little bit, made some money. And I was like, dude, you know what? Why am I making money for somebody else when I could be making money for myself? And so I ended up starting a pest control business, which is funny because every salesman thinks because they know how to sell the thing, they can start a business. So it's been a huge learning curve. just trying to figure out how to create systems, the operations side of stuff. But it's been great. So I've got my pest control business that's been able to basically not only run the day-to-day operations, but grow while I'm able to still go on vacation. So it's pretty cool that I have that now. Not that we're, super wealthy or anything, but I'm able to have time.
Yeah, when he says vacation, he means sleeping on the floor of the hotel room between Hugh and I. Because we rented a hotel and Jake was like, "Can I just sleep on the floor next to you guys? Because pest control."
This is how. So it's funny, dude. Like my net worth, right on paper, I'm a millionaire. I'm poor as shiz. So I'm like, hey, can I? Hey, yo, Dave and Hugh. I know you guys have already rented a room and split it, but dude, like if you be willing to like split it 3 ways so it's cheaper for me, can I sleep on the floor? It sucked. No, it was good. It was a good time. We went to the Bigger Pockets conference, and
if I didn't have a fucking CPAP on my face, I would have been fine with like sharing a bed. But now that I'm like Darth Vader and I get tangled up in this freaking thing, I'm still trying to figure out how to. Half the time I don't even sleep next to my wife because babe, I'm trying not to strangle myself. I'm like, yeah, I haven't figured it out yet. I sleep better, but anyway, it's a mess. Oh man! So door-to-door sales. That's that wasn't around Missouri, was it?
No,
was still in
I did it
Oregon
every year in Houston. Well, I did one summer in Missouri, here in Springfield, but I did 2 other summers in Houston, Texas.
Man, door-to-door is no joke.
No, it's a tough job. It's a mentally tough job, and it's actually one of my biggest life regrets, and I'll tell you why. So the first summer, I'm one of those people, sales just came naturally. I sold 250 accounts, which is a lot, pretty good in the door-to-door world, and made $50,000. But I only worked half the time. Everybody else was still out knocking. I was playing, and I still sold more than a lot of people on my team. So I kind of had this cocky arrogance of dude, I'm good at this. Whatever. It doesn't take much effort. My last summer, door-to-door, I was the first one to sell 100 accounts, even of people that made way more money than me. Yeah. I was one of the first people, sold 100 accounts, and I was like, dude, this sucks. I don't like this. I hate it actually, even though I'm pretty decent at it. And I don't know if this is what I want to do. And I kind of went through this whole depression epiphany thing, and it's my biggest life regret because I wish I would have stuck it out, because I would have made a shiz ton of money because I had a lot of people underneath me. I would have made a lot of money, but I just kind of gave up and was like, I thought I was motivated by money, but then I came to realize I was more motivated by time. And then that's what got me thinking about a business more and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, yeah, I want time. I want to win my time back. Let's start a business. And that's kind of how I led into real estate investing, business, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's funny too because a lot of things change through the investor journey, right? Especially in the war room, right? In the mastermind, I see people are always like, "Oh, why don't you organize the small groups by niche?" And it's like, well, because none of you guys know what niche you're going to be in 3 months, right? I'm a wholesaler, now I'm a flipper, now I'm a burr, now I'm a buy and hold, now I'm sick of that, so I'm a multifamily, mobile home, RV park, luxury Airbnb investor who's got an airplane now and I'm buying, it's, oh my God, I'm flipping RVs and now I'm flipping Ferraris. It's oh my, but outside of even the investor perspective, it's we go through phase of, you're in the grind and your health slides, and then you let off the pedal to get your health right, and it's all this ebb and flow of it's not like there's ever really a balance. It's you're all in on this, and then you're like, oh shit, I forgot that, and you go all in on the other thing, you're like, oh shit, I forgot that.
Yeah.
You go back, and then you get to a point where my buddy Brian Lubin, I was on he was on this podcast the other day, and I think he coined the phrase, but I love it. He talks about passionate income. He's like, you get to a point where you're like, I can make money doing all these different things, but I only want to make money doing things that actually make me happy. At some point, it doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the time and the fulfillment. And that's, it sounds arrogant to say it because you're like, People are like,
No,
oh,
it's true though.
Oh my goodness.
There's a season to everything, like right, because like right now a lot of people are promoting, oh, dude, you got to hustle and grind. Yeah, there's a season for that, and then there's a season to where you're like, oh, you know what, money is not as important to me as I thought it was. What do I love to do, or what is more important to me, and stuff like that. And I like that you brought up balance because it's interesting. I think that a lot of people are like, oh, I need to live a more balanced life, or there's that side of the coin, right? And then there's the other side of the coin where people are like, no, you're not balanced. You need to be fully focused on the one thing. You sacrifice other things because that's what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's wealth or you know, your fitness or whatever. I like to think of balance as like, if you think of the scale and like, say you're on the scale, you're the physical person on the scale and you start focusing on wealth and you run over to that side and focus on wealth and it starts to tip. And just like you said, like, oh crap. Oh, my family, I got to run back to that side. So it's like a balancing act, and it's like a zigzag more than just like all in on one thing. It's like you have to kind of bounce back and forth. This is why I think a vision is so important, because if you have a vision for your life in multiple areas of your life, like your physical, your financial, your wealth, your relationships, all that stuff, and you have this grand vision, but then you backtrack to what's one super small micro daily thing that I can do that will lead me to that vision, then you can do it. So for example, I like to use spirituality as an example. Whether you're religious or not, say that spirituality is still important. What's one thing you can do daily that's super micro to help you work towards that vision? It might be just, I'm going to just sit still for 5 minutes or meditate for 5 minutes or whatever. And I think that's how you can. Yeah, exactly. Shrooms, meth, amphetamine. No, just kidding. But it's just the little things that you can do that will lead to your success, and that's how you have true, in my mind, true quote unquote balance. Is you plan and time block each thing in area of your life, including fun, which us as entrepreneurs, we don't do a lot. And it's important. Yeah,
that was kind of my running joke all summer was, I'm just trying to learn how to have fun again. Like, I forgot how to have fun.
Yeah.
To the point where on Monday, if you hadn't backed out on me, I was planning on going downtown to the pub crawl dressed all sweaty. I was going to wear combat boots and silkies and just be a hoe. And
is that when he got out of his the 75 hard program and could have a drink now?
The day before, yeah. And but then he was. I don't know. I guess he had a really, really rough day, so he was like, "Nah, man, I can't justify going out tonight." I was like, well, I'm probably a little too old to go downtown on my own at a pub crawl full of college kids, and just stand around as the weird old dude in silkies.
No, downtown. Do it, dude.
Like, it's one thing to be there with like another weird, because he would have shown up in his American flag Speedo, and it would have been the two of us being oddball, slutty old men. Like, but it's like, I'm just trying to get, like Hugh and I we went kayaking this summer and, our float trips. I did Peru, Machu Picchu, Colombia, going to Guatemala next month. Like, really trying to focus on trying to figure out like the having fun piece.
Yeah.
Because you're right. It's, man, I mean, I haven't had a hobby in years. Yeah. One of the things I've really been trying to do lately is, I've kind of not stopped, but really dialed back audiobooks. I got so heavy into audiobooks. I mean, 40, 50, 60, 70 audiobooks a year, which is great. Mm-hmm. But so heavy into audiobooks and podcasts that I pretty much stopped listening to music.
Yeah.
And so I got like so into personal development that yeah, it's like, so lately I've been like, okay, most of my drives, I'm either on the phone with a friend or listening to music and just rocking out.
Yeah.
A CD, like an old school, like from high school. I found all my old high school CDs. Some like high school CD that I enjoy. I love it, dude. Just rocking out. Trying to
have more fun.
Yeah. Hobbies and enjoyment and dancing and I don't know.
I was talking about this with my co-host, Dane. And, that's new. That's new news. Dane Logan is the co-host to the Growth Circle podcast.
I thought you were all about, like, growth.
You saying Dane can't help with growth?
I mean...
I'm gonna tell Dane you said that. Actually, he'll probably listen to
Given
this.
the message that Dane had for me before the show, no. Could you repeat that for the audience?
He said, "Tell Dave I said hi, and that he's a dick."
Yeah, so.
He didn't mean it. It was jokingly.
Yeah. I mean, that's
there might have been a little truth to it, but
yeah.
So
I mean, it was true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
So him and I
Tell Dane that the Growth Circle just lost a viewer.
Wait, you've been listening or viewing?
I mean, I won't be.
No, not now. You for sure won't be.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. So yeah. So the
I was gonna be a guest. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, and all's fair in love and war, man.
No, I love Dane.
Yeah, he's a good dude. It's funny because him and I were just talking. I think today, maybe actually. It's interesting because we were talking about vision and how there's so many different things about how to create a vision, and there's differing opinions and stuff. And you made me think of the audiobooks because when you take in all this information, you've got to like filter out what works for you, and sometimes you got to just stop and be still and like, well, what's important to me, and ask some of those thought-provoking questions and become more aware with yourself, because a lot of times the answers are already there. We just have to bring them out. And that's what I love about a vision is like, if you learn how to do it, you can draw it out of you so that you can be true to yourself and stop living somebody else's vision. Stop living what a book is telling you, which doesn't align with what you truly want in life. I don't know. You just kind of made me think of that.
Yeah, well, now you got to tell the audience how to create a vision, because
It
sounds great, but it is not as easy as you
it's
think
definitely
to
not.
create that shit.
And if you want to create a vision, go to the Growth Circle podcast, episode number 46, where we talk about how to discover your vision and how to create one and execute on it. And hopefully that will be helpful. But I can give a kind of a brief summary.
There you go.
First of all, I think it's important to know like what is a vision. A vision is a declaration of something that you're trying to be or become. It's down the road, right? You know, it's almost like a roadmap. And then a mission is how to accomplish that vision. So in order to figure out what your vision is you got to, first of all, you've got to ask yourself some thought-provoking questions like, how do I want to be remembered? What do I want to be remembered for? How do I want other people to feel when they're around me or with me? A lot of those type of questions. Yeah. And then if that's your vision, then you need to be a gigolo.
Yeah. I want them all to be erect.
Exactly. So if that's your vision, man, if that's your vision, dude, you are doing the wrong thing. You need to get out of real estate. But yeah, you gotta ask those questions, man.
Polls.
You gotta ask those questions. You gotta stop and be quiet and get out all the distractions and noise to just be with yourself and your thoughts to kind of figure out what you truly want, and even write stuff down. Like, what do you want out of life? What materialistic things do you want? What relationships do you want to have? Who is somebody you admire and why? What qualities and characteristics do they have that cause you to admire them? And write those down, and then you can kind of start formulating like, oh shoot, this is what I'm about. Figure out what your gifts are. Talk to friends and family and say, hey, like, what do you think are like my talents, my strengths, you know, and take that feedback. It's going to help you figure out what your vision is. And then basically you just got to, you know, write it out in a declarative way, and you've got to review it often. What I love about a vision is like, dude, because of my vision right now, it was hard for me to get up in the mornings to go do things and get up early. But now, because of my vision and it's constantly on my mind and at the forefront of my mind, dude, I like jump out of bed and I'm excited to take on the day. And I don't think a lot of people have that. And a lot of times it's just because they don't have a vision. So get a vision.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's like you got to chase the excitement. And
Yeah.
So it's finding that thing that I've been joking, I've been joking about it. But you know, since I'm being vulgar, it's funny. You know, I really need to figure out a way. It's hard with Alex, the co-host of the show, who's ironically he's in Colombia, Cartagena right now. So obviously that's why we're
must be nice.
Yeah,
must
that's
be
why
nice.
he's not recording with us right now. But it's hard with him, obviously living in a different state. But if that wasn't the case and we could record in person, I like it because I think it allows me to be truer to myself, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more vulgar perhaps, which is whatever. But you know. I've been joking with people when I've been talking about this vision thing. it's like the way that I've been describing it is like trying to find that thing that gets you hard in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what's the old adage, like the sports car thing where it's like, you know, for sports car enthusiasts, it's like, man, I want a car that when I get up in the morning and I turn it on, it returns the favor. And so it's, you know, and it's, I've been wrestling with it because like, you know, the Military Millionaire brand, it grew so fast and I never had any idea what it was going to be. It was never planned or anticipated to be any of whatever. It just kind of, it became,
yeah.
and which is great. And I love it. But I've been really wrestling lately with like what the vision is because people keep asking like, what's next? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, great, I'm financially free.
Yeah.
And I'm a quote unquote millionaire. And I could probably get away with not working. And whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a wife and I've got kids and I've got a dog and, you know, whatever.
The American dream, dude.
Yeah, but so I've been trying to figure that out. And it's a lot harder than you think to flesh out the like what that looks like. I mean, so far I've got it narrowed down to like Ferrari and travel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And friends and adventures, and I've got some bucket list items and whatever, and giving back, and you know. But as far as like what the community looks like and what the business side, and because I'm never gonna stop working, but so I've got some things in the works now that I think are gonna really help. But even you know, I've been sitting and thinking for a lot lately, and it's hard to flesh that out.
It's super hard.
And the problem is that, you know, you're, I think, similar to me where it just changes all the fucking time.
It does, and that's okay too, because like as we like learn and grow, like a vision is not supposed to be a set in stone thing. It's supposed to be malleable. It's supposed to, like Bruce Lee's famous quote, like be like water, you know, because dude, it moves, it changes, you know. It's okay if it changes, but a lot of times if you like really sit down and set aside the time to really think about it, a lot of it kind of almost does become set in stone because it's being true to who you are. The problem that you and I have is we're entrepreneurs and we got entrepreneurial ADD and we're like, ooh, shiny object, ooh, this, ooh, chasing wealth, ooh, this project, ooh, this would be cool. And then like we're like, is any of that really what we want? Are we living? Here's an example, dude. Like when I was, I started like supercharging with real estate. Like I started buying super fast, way faster than I had ever, because I seen these young kids that I became friends with that were in my circle that are doing high volume so fast in all these single family homes. And so I was like, oh, I want to play keeping up with them. I was living their vision, dude. It wasn't my vision. And it caused a lot of stress and headaches. And then I'm like, why am I dinking with these single family homes on the north side of Springfield? You know what I'm talking about, these cracked out houses, which is a great way to build your wealth when you're getting started. But is that what I want? So I had to redefine my criteria for real estate investing. And one of them now, and I'm the only one that can measure this because it's not an actual measurable thing, is am I proud to own it? That's like a criteria for me now. It's like, am I proud to own it? If I look at that, I'm like, what the hell is that thing? I don't want to own that thing. But if I'm like, yeah, that'd be sweet to own. That meets that one criteria, but what about all the other ones, you know? So
it's funny you say that. I just sold a fourplex yesterday, and I think I'm about to go under contract to sell the first property I ever bought. If I sell that one, then I will no longer own anything under 10 units that has not been renovated in the last 2 years.
That's awesome.
Now, granted, those ones that have been renovated in the last 2 years are still somewhat crummy areas or whatever, but they're newly renovated. They're, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And they all have high loan to value refis because they were burrs, so I can't really get out from under them yet. But because of that, right, I didn't have a lot of income, so I did the high leverage, get into real estate. It worked, but now they're headaches, and so I'm trying to move my portfolio to either much more high-end neighborhoods or much larger assets, or like LP position, passive investing. Or I'm really trying to flesh out the idea of getting into development for the exact same reason you were talking about, because I'm like, I'm never going to drive through Springfield or anywhere and look at crack houses and be like, hey, Jackson, I own that. Like, he's never going to be like, wow, Dad.
Yeah, that's so
look
cool.
at that crack house.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But I would love someday to point at, like, the newest tower on the skyrise that I can see from my farm and be like, that's yours.
That says Trump. I mean, Dave Perret.
Yeah. You know, like, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but it's definitely either bigger projects or completely hands-off passive investments.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to what you said earlier. There's a season for everything. There's a season to where you just need to build your wealth, and sometimes that vehicle is the crack houses, right?
Yep.
But then you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, that's helped me to where I'm in it now. What do I need to do going forward? And it's okay if things change and transition and you go from single family homes to, or for maybe even flipping homes, to buy and hold, to midterm rentals, to, whatever. We all do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It changes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next? What else are you working on?
Right now,
podcast. We got crack houses. We got non-crack houses. We got roaches that we don't even know if we're killing or not because we don't know what our team's doing.
Well, they're we only killed the German roaches, not the American ones, because we were pro-America. But
what about Russian roaches? Or Ukraine roaches?
They're just so easy to get rid of. It's not really a big deal.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. What's next for me? Right now, Hugh said something. Hugh Carnahan, the Hillbilly Millionaire. He said something that really kind of resonated with me. He said, "Mind your business." And this was when we were in San Diego at the Bigger Pockets conference.
He wasn't saying anything profound. He was telling you to leave him alone.
Yeah, exactly. No. But it struck me. No, it's good. No, he was like, mind your business. And then he kind of elaborated, and he's like, you just need to focus on your business and what you got going on. So I've kind of reevaluated, and I really am trying to focus on my pest control business, and I have a pretty grand vision for it and what I'm trying to achieve. And then of course I'm always going to actively invest, but I'm much more particular because I have a criteria now. But my number one focus really right now is kind of my personal vision and what I'm wanting to accomplish, and that's to wield transformational influence. I want to inspire other people, or wield this transformational influence that other people, for other people to learn and grow and to make changes in their life that will bring them more meaning, purpose, and fulfillment, and hopefully joy that will also inspire other people to do the same because they have changed their life. And I'm not no Tony Robbins or Ed Mylett or all these grand people, but on a small scale, I would like to at least do that. That's what I'm super passionate about. So that's like my main focus right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess that involves the growth circle then.
Yeah, and that's why I have the Growth Circle podcast. It's one of the vehicles for me to be able to do that.
What other vehicles? What are you trying to work on with that?
With the podcast? So I need to create the systems.
Let's talk through it,
Yeah, I need to create the systems to where I can take, like, right now we're doing this podcast, right? Why the heck am I not filming it and then taking that video, putting it on YouTube, and then splitting it up, segments of it or whatever, and putting it on TikTok and Instagram and the stories and the reels and all this stuff so that I'm having a bigger audience. Because right now my audience is, if you happen to hear this somehow because I'm on the Military to Millionaire podcast, you might go onto Spotify and listen to it. Or you might see it on my Facebook page if you're my friend. Like, I'm not really super promoting it.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where I'm at, is like, I need to reach more people.
Yeah, it's a good call.
And I got to have the systems to do it.
Yeah, repurposing is a big thing.
Yeah. And I'm second at it. And consistency. I'm consistent with the podcast, like doing weekly podcast episodes. But as far as like the social media stuff, I'm not good at the date. Like, you have to do it daily. Like TikTok, you have to do it daily. YouTube, you could probably get away with weekly. Instagram daily, but I'm not doing those things because I haven't created the systems to do it.
Yeah. You gotta. Yeah. And I'm hit or miss. I mean, I go through waves. Like, in a perfect world, I would do 3 TikToks a day, 3 Instagram posts a day, probably 1 post and 1 or 2 reels. And then some Facebook post engagements, a tweet, or two.
Do you feel like Twitter's...
I hated Twitter.
Yeah,
but
see,
now
I haven't
I'm
even
back on
touched
it.
it because I'm like, I don't even know if I like Twitter.
Daddy Musk is back, so no, you know, I only ever I've hated Twitter for a long time. The only thing I've ever used Twitter for, other than having it linked to automatically share, like it's linked to like my blog, podcast, and YouTube feed, so it just automatically shares stuff. Other than the automated crap, the only thing I've ever used Twitter for is to look at like trending stuff if I'm bored, to post things to see if they gain traction. Sometimes like ideas, but usually the only thing I use Twitter for is if I'm trying to get a hold of a brand.
Yeah.
So like if I'm really pissed off at customer service, I learned a long time ago that you can email them and you can fill out their contact form and you can do everything else. You can Instagram and Facebook and whatever. But the moment you tweet that motherfucker, you get a call.
You get a call.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, inevitable. Like to the point where I had a night where I broke down in downtown San Diego, and I spent like 17 hours in the freaking car waiting on a tow truck, and just customer service and all these nothing, nobody, like emails and customer service calls and hold and like everything. And I tweeted at USAA, blah, 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 phone call, like 5 minutes.
Oh, dude, I'm
was
going to
helped.
start using that.
Yeah,
it's
it's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've started using Twitter a little bit more now, just because I want to support the fact that they're really trying to be a little bit more free.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Who knows? But yeah, in a perfect world, it'd be like 3 vertical videos on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube a day.
Yeah.
But it just takes time.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is with like TikTok makes it easy. You make one like actual video, and then you make 2 that are like responding to comments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Those are really easy.
Yeah, those are easy.
But it just takes...
See, my problem is a lot of times why I don't do it is, and this is probably with most things, is like because there's a barrier to entry, or it's something about it that's mundane or inconvenient that you don't want to do it. If I had the money to just hire somebody to follow me around with a camera and then like, dude, send this over to the Filipinos and they can do thumbnails and do all this stuff and upload it and all this. So all I have to do is run my mouth and be on camera. It'd be a lot easier.
Yeah. That's definitely doable. And I mean, Hugh's got a guy. There's people who do it. There's entire teams. I'm actually thinking I'm probably about to try Hugh's team. I think it's like $3,000 a month. I tried. So I hired a videographer who would come up once a month for like 2 days. It was like $2,000 a month. And he was decent. He was good. I mean, he was a good videographer. I need somebody who's capable of like the content planning side.
Yeah.
Because I have a ton of ideas, but I want somebody who's able to go in and look at my competitors.
Yeah.
And do the research and the analysis.
And say, hey, you need to do this video.
Yeah, literally just say...
And put it in your calendar so you don't even have to think about it. Then you show up.
And record XYZ. Because I'm really, really good at winging stuff. And if you said, hey, make 10 videos about this, I could spend an hour and knock them all out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's the same issue that I run into. And it's probably because you're a visionary. I'm a visionary. And we were kind of talking about this before we started the podcast, is like, we need an integrator. We need someone to execute on the thing that we want to achieve, the vision, you know?
Yep.
And man, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm not looking good enough. I don't know, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the problem with like videographers and creatives and stuff like that is they're either affordable or they're really good.
Yeah.
There's not really an in-between.
Yeah.
If they're really good, they know it.
Yeah.
And, you know, the people who are really affordable are trying to get experience because they're not really good yet.
Exactly.
And so, like, the best way probably to find the medium is through, like, college interns at, you know, like, film director, film school. You go to, like, MSU and you look for interns with, like, the local film, you know, degree or whatever. But that's a temp. That's not someone most likely who's going to be with you full time.
Yeah.
And they probably aren't the director type role, so you're probably not going to get the guy who knows what to tell you to do, and you're probably not going to get the guy who's like, they're going to be like, okay, where do you want to film, instead of, hey, I need you to bring a polo, a button up, a t-shirt, jeans, khakis, and gym shorts, a ball cap, and we're going to meet here.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want. I want somebody who's literally going to be like, t-shirt, polo, jeans,
And you just show up and do your thing.
dress suit, this location, 9 a.m.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. The thing is like, oh man, like you can get there, right? But you got to probably keep it simple. Like I could probably just be like, just literally set up my own phone and film it and then send it to somebody in the Philippines for super cheap. And it might not be the best quality, but maybe because of consistency, I'll get enough traction to grow. And then I can, if I'm bringing in revenue, then I'm like, okay, now I can have more quality.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it scales. And it works.
yeah.
But I would definitely look into it, because content is, the brand and the content is huge.
Yeah.
Here's a interesting proof source for you. I haven't really shared this, and I don't know, someone's going to listen to this and think it's an ego thing, but I think it's a huge win, and it startled me. I shared, you're in the War Room Facebook group, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did you see the email or the post? We're not going to name names, but the post earlier this week, somebody asking for a bridge loan for $625,000.
No, I did not.
So someone was asking for a bridge loan for $625,000 because they have a property. I'm not even going to mention what kind of property, because I'm just making sure this stays anonymous.
Oh wait, this is the capital that you were trying to help this person raise, right?
So same people, but different property.
So I did see it then.
Yeah. So basically what happened is they have not a family office, but like a big, just a legit source of capital is going to fund the entire, like 100% funding on the entire thing, buy out all of the investors, including the actual like GP stake, like everything. So they like nobody, like no capital invested, just which is great. But that won't happen until I think it's like November 20th. Like, I mean, it's like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Might be the end of the month, but I think it's like November 20th. However, the closing date cannot be extended past November 11th.
Oh.
And so there's like a 9-day, potentially 3-week, but like 9-day window that they need to have the 625, which is the gap between what they have raised and this piece that they need to borrow. And so they were looking for like the bridge loan, whatever. And they have a couple different options, but they posted and they were like, hey, does anybody have this? We'll give you 3 points, which is, if you do the math on that, that's $18,750 for like a 9-day loan. Now, granted, you're staking 625, but you're staking it as an equity stake into an LP position, so it's collateralized. It's not like it's just a blank loan. It's backed by an asset, like a hard asset. So it's whatever. And it's personally guaranteed by people who have the net worth to cover it. So it's, anyway, all that being said, so the way the deal was like, hey, 3% of the 625 for a 30-day note. If it goes to 60 days for any complication or reason, then we'll give you an extra point. So then it'd be like 24 or 25,000. Not a terrible deal. They were having some issues, whatever. I was like, let me shoot this out to my little investor list, which is like 1,100 names or something, accredited and non-accredited investors, whatever. I'll just email it out as just a private loan, whatever. I have no idea if I'm going to get any bites. I've never sent anything out this size. And it's not even me asking for the money. It's, hey, I've got a friend who needs a hand. Anybody interested?
Right.
Within an hour of sending that email, I had 3 responses. Of the 3, one was a personal friend from Hawaii, who I had no idea had the money. One was a personal friend from, I guess he's not from Hawaii, but he's just somebody I've met a few times and knew from online, and then met a few times, who I definitely knew had the money, but just didn't even think to like text or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Didn't realize he was in the private money game at the time. The other was somebody I've never met before who isn't on my email list because somebody on my email list had forwarded him the email and said, yo, I know you like to lend money. This is Dave. Dave's the man. Thought you might be interested in this. And he had responded.
Wow.
And I was like, holy crap.
That's crazy,
That's
dude.
cool. And then all three of them
Uh-huh.
got on the phone with this guy, and one of them lent him the money.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy crap. Like, it blew my mind. I'm like, dude, I just, like, 3 people in the email list not only knew, liked, and trusted me and the brand enough to raise or to lend $625,000 to me,
Uh-huh.
but to a friend of mine off of like an email. Like, that's crazy. So I don't know. So all I say is if that doesn't speak to the power of like networking and content and building a brand, all 3 of those people are people that I met through the brand. The person who sent the email, like forwarded the email to the other guy, I've met in person, I think once, maybe twice through the brand. The person who actually is doing the loan met through Instagram. And the person who's like the personal friend from Hawaii met through Instagram.
That's crazy.
So like,
Dude, I tell people all the time, dude, your network is your network.
yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, so I say all that to say, as annoying as it is to remember to do those stupid TikToks, which I forget to do all the time, man, there's some power to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So all that being said, what do we miss? What do we need to...
Well, I know you've got a big interview coming up, so you
small
need
fish.
I'm a small fish.
Ryan Pineda is nothing compared to
Jake Ingledue,
the Air Force Ingledue.
Man, I'm gonna just start telling people I'm not even in the military. It's almost too embarrassing. I'm just kidding.
What? But who else is gonna
Guard the gates and check your ID.
Yeah.
And take the little mirror and look under the car. Make sure you don't have a bomb. Anybody that washes out from any...
Do you know who my husband is?
No, ma'am. Move along. Shoot. Well, thanks for having me on, dude.
Absolutely. Where can people get a hold of you?
They can definitely the Growth Circle podcast.
They can't.
Oh gosh, dang it. Yes, well, no, they can't get a hold of me that way. They can listen to me talk that way. But yeah, they can check out the Growth Circle podcast on Spotify, wherever they get their podcasts. And then they can contact me directly through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Jake Ingledue. You'll find me. I'm the only one with that last name, so not really. But
Ingledue.
Yep. Ingledue, don't. Yep. And I've heard a lot worse, so we'll just keep it at that.
Oh man, Jake's a good dude. So if you guys want to reach out, he might take care of you. If you have roaches in the Southwest Missouri area, it's his fault.
Call Terminex, not me.
Worst marketing ever. If he shows up at your door, well, then his sales guys aren't doing their job because he probably isn't door knocking anymore.
Nope.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man. Dude, I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you for listening to another episode about my journey from military to millionaire. If you liked it, be sure to visit FromMilitaryToMillionaire.com/podcast to subscribe to future podcasts. While you're there, we'd love for you to rate the show, give us a review on iTunes. Now get out there and take action.